All right, guys, Darren from FBA Elite, and welcome back to another video. So a couple of weeks ago, I released a video called Amazon FBA, the end of the road. And I talked about my very first product, how I decided to stop selling it on Amazon and how it was time to find some new products. So that journey has commenced. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you the first steps. Now, one area that most people get stuck on with Amazon FBA is actually finding the right product to sell. So before we can do that, we actually need some product research criteria. So in this video, what I've done, I've put together this lovely PDF and I'm going to talk you through a presentation. And then later on in the video, I'll show you exactly where you can download this from. And what we're going to do is go through my product research criteria, explain to you exactly why the criteria as it is, and help you guys understand what you should be looking for when trying to find products on Amazon FBA. If you dive straight into finding products without your own criteria, because criteria is unique to every single seller, you'll struggle with finding the right products for you. So the whole point of this video is to ensure you guys are looking for the right product for you and your business and your individual circumstances. So the FBA Elite product research checklist. Let's go through this bit by bit and I'll explain my own preferences and thinking behind this list. So firstly is your monthly profit goal. So for me, this product that I'm looking to find next, I want it to generate between £2,000 to £3,000 in profit per month. Now, previously I used to look for lower profit products like less than £1,000 per month, as they're a lot easier to launch, as generally they require less sales to get ranked on the first page. Also, you have less money tied up in inventory as well. So if you are a new seller, the chances are you may not be looking for a product with goals that are selling £2,000 to £3,000 profit per month. But for me, this is the ideal fit for my business at this time. So again, this is just repeating the point that this criteria is unique to you. So have a think about your own goals. What would you like to make per month? Now, obviously we'd all like to say 10, 20, 50K, but you have to be realistic based on your budget. And that brings me to your next point. So what budget do you have to launch this product with? So for me, I'm looking at 2 batches of inventory in total. So the first batch that I'll bring in and start selling, and whilst that's selling through, I'll be ordering the second batch. So I've budgeted between 5 and 10,000. Now I know that is quite a broad range and many new sellers will have a smaller range to work with, but as long as you're clear with what you're working with, then you should be absolutely fine. The next thing you need to do is establish the sales or demand that you're looking for from that product. Now you can either do that based on how many units it sells per month, or you can do it based on revenue. So what I've got here is kind of a combination of the two, and also showing you how different variables can actually end up with the same end goal. So I could find a product that sells between 200 to 300 units per month at £10 profit per unit, and that would generate between £2,000 to £3,000 profit per month. Or I could find a product that sells 300 to 400 units per month at £7.50 profit per sale, and again that's around £2,000 to £3,000 per month, or even 400 to 600 units per month at £5 profit per unit, and again similar sort of monthly profits. So just because you've got a set profit criteria doesn't mean you have to restrict yourself about the number of sales, because it all comes down to what the profit is from those sales versus your overall profit goals. So in the spreadsheet or in the PDF that you guys will be able to download, I've left all of these fields blank and you can populate them for your own individual circumstances. Next up, we have sales distribution. So when I'm looking at sales on Amazon, and I've shown you guys this in many previous videos, and what I'll do the next video, I'm actually going to do some product research to try and find this product. So if you want to know more about this, make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell as well, because the next video will be directly related to this video. So sales distribution, when I'm looking at the first page of organic results, so excluding PPC sales on that first page of results, I want to see at least 5 other private label sellers on the first page selling with similar sales. So for example, if the niche that I was looking at, that it was 300 to 400 units per month that I was aiming for to make the £7.50 and the £2,000 to £3,000 overall profit per month, then I'd want to see at least 5 other sellers somewhere between probably 250 to 450 units per month, because then I have a wider landing zone. If there's only one seller hitting the figures I'm trying to aim for, then it makes things a bit more difficult. So give yourself as wide a landing zone as possible. The more sellers you see on that first page with sales similar to what you're targeting, the better your chances of success are. Another thing to look at, and this is brand domination. Look through the search results. Are they being dominated by a big household brand that might put people off of your private label product? or has Amazon dominated the listings, have a look through. So make sure there's no brand domination issues, because if Amazon or a big brand dominate that front page, it can be difficult to break into it. And I've put there a maximum of 5 big brands or Amazon listings on that first page. I've also put the majority of listings should be private label FBA, not FBM. If there's a lot of FBM products in the search results, that may indicate that the product is very heavy, so it's expensive to ship, which means it will be very expensive to use via FBA. So generally, if there's a lot of FBM products in the niche, I tend to avoid that. However, do your own research on that. If you find a niche where the product's actually quite small, there may actually be an opportunity to introduce an FBA product to that niche if there's a lot of FBM sellers, as you will stand out with the Prime badge being an FBA seller versus those FBM sellers. So on the next slide, we have profitability. So as a general rule, I aim for 30% plus. Now that excludes PPC, it also excludes things like returns and storage fees, as those are very hard to predict. So I start with a minimum of 30%, but expect that to come down. So it gives you a leeway. So if I come down 10% and end up 20% because I've spent some on returns, PPC and storage fees, that's absolutely fine. Some people prefer to be exact, and if you want to take the time to put together a calculator that takes into account returns, storage fees and PPC, or estimated PPC, of course do that. For me, this has always worked. Aim for at least 30%, and the rest of those fees should take care of themselves. Now, to work out your profit, this is one of the ways you can do it. There are many ways you can do it. For me, I take the selling price. So let's say you found a product that you want to sell at £30. You then take away the landed cost. So your landed cost is the unit cost plus any shipping plus import duty plus VAT. So let's say it cost you £10 to get that product to the UK to the Amazon fulfillment center. So we'll take off the £10 and then we're going to take off the Amazon fees as well. So the chances are on a £30 product, Amazon fees will be pretty close to £10 as well. And that leaves us with £10 overall. So what we need to do now is divide that £10 left over. So that £10 profit that's left over, divide that by your selling price. So we were selling at £30. That gives us 0.33333 recurring, times that by 100. And we know our profit margin is 33%. So that would be a potential product that would tick that box in this criteria list that I've got here. So moving on from profitability, we also have ROI. So this is a very important thing to check, as if your profitability and ROI both line up, then it's really, really good for the product. If one of these is well off, especially ROI, I see this a lot, it really creeps off, but profitability remains at 30%, then certainly I would be very careful with that. But if your ROI is good, so with this, I want to aim for 80 to 100%. So if I'm investing £10, I would like to make between £8 and £10 profit back from that investment. And I'll show you how to calculate that as well very quickly. Let's bring up the calculator again. So we take that previous product as an example. We're making £10 profit per unit. So we need to divide that by your unit cost, shipping cost, custom, which is, in short, this is your landed cost. So when I put landed cost here, this is the breakdown here. So let's do this again. Unit cost of £10, that was your unit cost plus shipping plus custom duty plus VAT. If we take the original £10, your £10 profit, divided by your landed cost of £10, and then times that by 100, your ROI is 100%. Now I know that might be confusing because both those figures were the same, so it may not have made sense the way I went through that. So let's try that again. Let's pretend that you were making £8 per unit, but your landed cost was £10. So you're investing £10, but you're making £8 back. So what you do is you take the £8 profit, and then you would divide that by your landed cost of £10, and then times that by 100. So your ROI is 80%. So your ROI should be somewhere between 80 and 100%, and your profitability above 30%. And those are general rules that I would use to ensure your product has a decent chance of selling on Amazon and making some money. Next up, we want to look at price point. So there's two things to consider here. If you're a new seller, it's very, very likely you will not be VAT registered unless you're based outside of the UK, because you're based outside of the UK and selling in the UK, you need to be VAT registered from day one as you're holding stock at the Amazon fulfillment centers. But most new sellers won't be VAT registered, in which case your product needs to be selling for a minimum of £10, ideally £15 plus, to have any chance of making reasonable profit on it. And VAT registered sellers need to be at a minimum of £15, ideally £20 plus. For me, I'm currently looking at kind of £25 plus to try and cover as many bases as possible. Then you'll have the best chance of making some profit and ensuring that actually with your price point, you can establish these ROIs and profitability as I would like to aim for, as I mentioned, 30% and 80 to 100% on those. Now on this final slide, I've got a few more points to go through. Up first, we have the VSP, the visual selling point. You must be able to visually stand out in the niche that you're looking to sell in. And I know I bang on about this again and again and again, but there's no point having the best possible product on Amazon if you do not stand out in that niche in a visual way. So whichever product you're looking at, have a think about how you could stand out visually, because your VSP is one of the most important aspects of having a successful product. Next up is seasonality. I would avoid all seasonal products. I know it's sometimes tempting to launch a summer product or a winter product, but honestly, for 3 to 6 months of sales, it's not really worth it, especially as a new seller. You want a product that sells well all year round. And when you're doing your product research, do historical research, as I've shown in many previous videos, and I'll show you again in the next video. Make sure your current sales estimates don't include seasonal peaks and dips. So if you're doing research at the moment in the middle of January, some of the sales may still be skewed from Q4, from Christmas. So be very careful with that. And again, I'll show you in the next video how to check all of those things. We then have size and weight. So for me, I am completely ruling out C-shipped products at the moment. As I've covered in previous videos, I don't want to have that much money tied up for that long with waiting 4 to 6 weeks for a product to be shipped in. Instead, I want to try and switch to small and light products I can air freight in. Then that will reduce the amount of money I have tied up and exposed to risk at any one time. However, I do see a lot of new sellers launching the C-ship products at the moment, and a number of the people I mentor have launched C-ship products with success as well. So it all comes down to your own risk preferences. For me, I've been selling C-shipped products for over 3 years, so I want to take a break from that and introduce some air freight products into my range. And then finally, reviews. Avoid niches with lots of products averaging 5-star reviews. If you launch a product, maintaining a 5-star review is very, very difficult. And if you're in a niche where everyone's got 5 stars and you drop down to 4.5 or 4, then you will struggle with sales. And also avoid niches where most popular products have 4-figure reviews. So if there's lots of people, if all of the sellers on the first page are in thousands of reviews, it can be quite difficult to break into that. If people are in the hundreds or double figures, that doesn't bother me at all. Even 4 figures doesn't bother me if I think I've got a strong enough VSP to stand out in that niche. But if your product is fairly similar to the other product, then try to avoid niches where reviews are too crazy with too many sellers, because what it shows is a long established sales history, and overtaking them can be quite tricky. So what I've done is put together this PDF. You can download this, and I put blanks in, and you can print this out, and you can just remind yourself when you're doing product research, all of these things to ensure you're checking them. So if you think you found a good product, does it check all of these things? Does it meet all of your own unique criteria? And does it meet these as well? What I've done, this is available for download completely free. All you need to do is go to fbaelite.com. If you're not already signed up, I think all you need to do is pop in an email address and a password, then you can get access to the resources section. Go to the resources section, and you've got the template here, the template product research checklist. I've just added this today. And by the time you guys are watching this, I'll hopefully have this video embedded here as well. But go to the download link in the top right corner, and that will download the PDF. Also, while you're there, check out the other templates we've got there. We've got the ultimate Amazon FBA checklist for anyone who's looking to start an Amazon FBA business, plus lots of others. And within here, we also have the discounts as well. So we have the FBA Elite course. We have discounts on things like Helium 10, accountancy, photography, insurance, everything you'll need for your Amazon FBA business. And of course, we have forums covering all areas of Amazon FBA. So if you found that video useful, make sure you subscribe to see the next video, where I'm actually going to be doing some product research, trying to find my next product. If you did find it useful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the forums.